Nintendo's president Shuntaro Furukawa recently shed more light on what to expect from the Switch 2. And layoffs hit The Last of Us developer Naughty Dog that could result in a lot of games being shelved. Find out about all that and much more. Up next. What up guys, this is Kalo and I'm here to give you the lowdown in all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video and welcome to the Level Up. So again, before we get into today's news, I got a Twitch channel. It's down in the video description down below, so go check it out, go subscribe, go follow me and all that fun stuff. Once we hit 500 subs on this here channel, I'm gonna let you guys know when our first stream is up and running. So we're gonna start off today's news roundup with an interesting perspective from Nintendo's president Shuntaro Furukawa in regards to how long the Switch is gonna live on for and when the Switch 2 could possibly hit. So this interview was conducted by the Japanese website Nikkei. So bear with me as most of this translation was done through Google Translate. So to kick things off, Furukawa was asked how the spirit of the Switch will carry over to its successor. He stated, quote, "I can't talk about the specific topic. We are constantly researching and developing hardware. But for the fiscal year ending in March of 2024, our focus is on expanding the Nintendo Switch business. The biggest obstacle at any time, not just limited to the next console, is knowing whether we can deliver something that customers really want." Of course, that is the classic corporate response here, but he did state Nintendo is focused on expanding the Switch business, and he does want to give the customers something they really want. Now, I think it's no secret that we're all just asking for a beefed up Switch. More or less, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But it seems Nintendo is primarily focused on the current Switch, up until the end of fiscal year 2024, which does end this upcoming March. So, maybe by April or May, we could at least get something. Anything about this Switch 2. So the interviewer asked about just that, if the current Switch's life cycle can be extended further. And he replied, "We are still working on Nintendo Switch software for fiscal year ending in March of 2025. Though momentum will be sustained to continue to expand the Switch business. In the fiscal year ending in March of 2024, we will keep up the Zelda momentum and move into the holiday season selling well. In terms of hardware, we will maximize demand not only for new purchases, but also for second units and replacements." Now, let's all calm down here because at first glance, hearing 2025 might lead you to believe the next console won't release until 2025. But that's not the case here. Hopefully. To calm your jaggered nerves here, Princess Peach Showtime is set to release in March. Then Luigi's Mansion 2 and Paper Mario are set to come out after that Peach game. That means those games will be in that fiscal year that ends in March of 2025. And Metroid Prime 4 is somewhere out in the world waiting in the wings. And I've been pretty steadfast on the idea it will be a cross-generation title with it releasing on the Switch in holiday of 2024 and the Switch 2 whenever that decides to come out. So to kind of wrap that interview up in a bow, what he pretty much alluded to here was to expect this bridge period between the Switch and its successor. And to keep an eye out during the holiday season next year for a potential launch of Nintendo's next big system. Now moving on to another bit of unfortunate layoffs. This news is coming from Kotaku, surrounding the studio that brought us The Last of Us, being Naughty Dog. Like we covered at the start of the week, layoffs have been hitting the gaming industry pretty hard as of late, with Epic Games suffering mass layoffs, and now this has shifted focus over to Naughty Dog. This round of layoffs hit a wide range of departments from the art department to the production team, but a wide majority of these layoffs were within the quality assurance team. And sources close to the matter said at least 25 devs were a part of that downsizing. What also sucks here is no severance was being offered to those hit by the layoffs, and remaining team members and those who were affected by these layoffs are being pressured to keep quiet on this matter. And this also means these layoffs do affect a handful of games Naughty Dog is currently working on. The biggest one here is being that multiplayer spinoff of The Last of Us, being The Last of Us Factions. Now, Bloomberg did report back in June, Sony did divert away a lot of resources from that project following an internal review from Bungie. And now sources are coming back to say while the game isn't really dead, at least as of now, the game is now on ice. And it's worth noting those resources that were taken away from factions have been diverted to a new game that is currently in production over at Naughty Dog. But from what I've heard, at least up until now, there is at least some sort of framework in place for The Last of Us factions. In order to not let all that hard work go to waste and maybe generate a little more money for the company, there have been reports that The Last of Us Part 3's plot is done. And as many of you know, games can sit in pre-production for a very long time. So what am I getting at here? I really don't think it's going to be that much of a risk to attach factions to The Last of Us Part 3 and have that function as the game's multiplayer mode. And for what it's worth, and knowing how long these dev cycles last for games, there is a fairly good chance this game will be a cross-generation. That's right, a cross-generation title for the PS5 heading into the PS6. Man, that feels weird to say. But with all that being said, I'm going to pass this question off to you guys. What do you think this mystery game from Naughty Dog will be? I'm holding out hope this has something to do with the Jak and Daxter franchise, but I've been hurt many times before. But that about does it here. I've been Kalo. I gave you the lowdown on all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.